Racing the rain, farmers put in some extra overtime to beat what is in the forecast. Progress on property tax relief. There's a sense of accomplishment after legislation passes. Meanwhile, challenges still remain. We hear more from Senator Glore on the steps moving forward. And changing the livestock fitting format at Nebraska State Fair. The reason behind the decision and how to get rid of what may look pretty but is really a purple pest in those fields out there. And a country music star reveals her connection to 4-H while introducing you to the Youth of the Month. Get ready to grow. First things first, a race to beat the rain this last week. A lot of you farmers were putting in long hours, including Jeff Nelson. He sent in a picture working into the nighttime hours, applying fertilizer before the rain comes on down. Now, while this is welcome moisture, we know many of you are making the adjustments needed on your own operations to adapt to whatever Mother Nature brings. So now we take a look at other ag news for you. Progress on a top priority, property tax relief. The governor laid out his #1 issue to tackle this legislative session, and this last week, 2 bills did pass, providing some relief for landowners. This has been a long process to get to this point and reach a compromise.
You know, to finally see a culmination of being able to do some things, there's a real sense of both relief and satisfaction. A lot of work, a lot of effort that's gone into it, so we're glad to have it done.
So here is what was all agreed on. $20 million will be added to the state's property tax credit fund. This will be credited to the ag property taxpayers on 90% valuation over the next 2 years. Residential and commercial property owners will remain the same.
We have been adding to the property tax credit program for all folks who pay property taxes for a number of years now, and we're up to the point of $204 million every year that the state pays out directly to taxpayers for property tax relief. This is another $20 million that goes just to ag, and that's the significance of it. But we need to add to it. I mean, we need to keep adding those dollars as best we can.
Also, property taxes will reduce by increasing state aid to schools by about $8 million. This includes an elimination of the minimal levy adjustment. While this is different than the governor's original plan, Senators Glore, are determined to do something, even with the challenge of a short legislative session.
So to be able to find tens of millions of dollars in a non-budget year to get something accomplished that's significant is really a challenge, yet we felt the increased valuation of ag land and what that means for increased property taxes, especially to ag, was important enough so that we needed to do something.
And the work on property tax relief is still not over.
Property tax relief isn't one of swinging for the fences, home runs, and to put it in dollars and cents terms, a home run would be coming up with 400, 500, $500 million to shift from local property taxes to state dollars. And the money isn't just not there to be able to accomplish that. So this fits into the category of bunts and singles.
Nebraska cattlemen respond, saying high property taxes continue to be the #1 issue, and they appreciate the leadership in helping move this legislation forward. They also address the importance of compromise with, quote, the passage of LB 958 and LB 959 are a positive step toward providing tax relief for agricultural landowners and addressing school funding issues. End quote. A confrontation between ranchers and Nebraska Public Power District beginning to garner attention in the Sandhills. According to a rancher near Thedford, NPPD attempted to enter private property for their R project. Property owners, however, denied the state agency from stepping foot on the land. Ranchers say they want the NPPD to be held responsible for any damages to property and guarantee the protection of the endangered burrowing beetle before they allow them on their land. Budding researchers discovering the hidden story of the Flint Hills of northeast Kansas, one scoop at a time, also preparing for future ag careers. Undergraduate students from across the country descended upon Manhattan, Kansas to take part in the National Collegiate Soils Contest. University teams competing in timed events analyzed layers of soil within large 4 to 5 5 feet deep pits, identifying the type of soils present and their corresponding properties. One of the judges said the event is fun, but also a chance to get experience toward a potential future career in soil science.
Environmental consulting firms, agricultural consulting firms, and some engineering consulting firms. They hire students who have knowledge of soil science, and they're really interested in hiring students who have the soil judging experience because they know they have practical applications and that they're able to recognize and describe soils out in the field conditions.
23 universities took part in the competition, which rotates to a different campus every year. And this provides contestants with the challenge of having to quickly adapt to new soil types in an area of the country unfamiliar to them.
It's a particularly challenging contest here because we have different kinds of geology and geography that the students can work with. Here in the Flint Hills, different landscape positions. They all have different combinations of the different layers of horizons that occur. So, and multiple parent materials that the soil is formed in. Lots of things that challenge the students to be able to understand what they've learned and apply it.
Kansas State University last hosted the event in 1968, and this is the 56th year of the competition. Controlled burns, the culprit for those smoky skies, and even health advisories being issued in parts of Kansas and Nebraska lately. In Kansas, range burning is underway in some areas, and here's a closer look as to what this all entails.
We burn the pastures to get rid of for weed control and brush control. Trees, get trees and shrubs out, and it also gets rid of all the old growth so that the new growth can come.
It's an annual event. Farmers and ranchers set their pastures on fire. Within a week, new grass pushes up, making lush feed for cattle. But air quality experts say the smoke may cause ozone problems.
There is a potential due to that burning for us to see elevated smoke levels in the Wichita area, which could impact air quality.
Last Monday, the city of Wichita recorded ozone levels higher than EPA standards.
The city does not control wildfires or even controlled burns in the Flint Hills, and it is our position that our residents should not be penalized for it.
The city is watching ozone levels very closely today because of all the burning. If Wichita goes over too many times in one season, it faces long-term penalties that could cost tens of millions of dollars. Buznitz says he doesn't worry about ozone and does what he needs to take care of his land.
I'm a huge proponent of taking care of what God has given us. We need to be wise stewards of what He's given us. But to worry about the ozone layer because of some smoke that's in Butler County, Kansas, I don't think is an accurate thing or anything to worry about.
Additional cash crop opportunity for corn farmers around the York area. Pellet Technology USA selected York for their first production facility. The company will be making a multi-million-dollar investment and creating 38 new jobs at startup. An additional economic impact will be the company's purchase of excess corn stover for use in the manufacturing of high-quality animal feed. Pellet Technology USA is a Nebraska-based ag company, and the company's innovative process of ag residues produces that feed. A big change coming for those showing at the Nebraska State Fair when it comes to fitting livestock. The 2016 shows will be what is called blow and go or no fit shows. This primarily affects the way exhibitors prepare beef animals. Because of space restrictions, it came down to either limiting the number of entries or changing the show format. While many families put a lot of time, practice, even tradition into fitting the animals, the decision was made to help open up space and keep the beef barn as safe as possible. Feedback on this issue was heard on both sides of the issue, and Fair Board members are aware of some concerns, but are confident this will all work out.
It'll be fine. Everybody's going to enjoy it as we get going here. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be faster getting them ready, getting them go. We hope that we can make more room in the barns with less show stalls and getting them ready earlier.
For the last few years, space challenges were offset by using part of the swine barn for fitting and blocking chutes. That space is no longer available, so instead of limiting people, the board decided to change the format. The governor on horseback. Here you see him joining UNL Rodeo team after designating last week Rodeo Week. He proceeded to take a ride around the block with team members. The 58th annual UNL Rodeo was over the weekend as well, and you can catch more information about that on Facebook. Some say, ooh, so so pretty. While you may think, ugh, gotta get out there and get rid of that. Purple flowers growing among corn rows pose a bit of a problem. What you should do about it next.